Hello, everybody. This was a project that I started weeks ago, and I built the spreadsheet, I bought the stocks, did everything, but I'd planned on doing this together on YouTube. However, I was just so swamped with everything, and I've been sick for a whole week. So, yeah, I've never gotten around to it, but I want to go over that now. So I built a spreadsheet, and these columns are just columns like B through F, or columns I have in some of the other workbooks. So I just copied that data over here. That's where I started at with building this spreadsheet. And basically, what I'm doing here is just building my own YMAX. So instead of buying the YMAX stock, I'm just buying all the tickers here instead. So, and then again here, column B is just the current stock price for these, and C just shows their average monthly dividend since inception. So we know some of these have gone up or down. That average monthly yield, and then there's also it calculated as an annual amount, annual distribution, and an annual yield. So that's just that data up there. Now, if we go down to the bottom on line 22, now that would be like about an estimate of one share if we had bought, all of these today at these prices, which these are the closed prices, but it's about $20.61 a share with the average distribution of 96 cents. Which is about 5% a month, or the 11.55 or 56% a year. Again, this just updates and is based on the current data. And then at the bottom, I went ahead and added YMAX, where it's at right now, which is $21.43. With the average monthly yield, it's only 55. I mean, not yield, but distribution of 55 cents. Obviously, it hasn't been around too long there. With the 3% yield a month, or 660 a year with 31% for the year. So this is just where I started out with the data, and then what I did was built this section right here. Now, the way I did this was assuming that I'm buying whole shares, because in Moo I buy whole shares. And so I used a very tiny starter amount just to get this going. One I could actually show y'all on YouTube. The bad thing is there's no way to hide the account number that I can find in Moo. So, so I did screenshots and cut it out for you. But anyway, so here at the top, what I've done is you see that there's 19 tickers. And then, so these right here are this is obviously 19. Well, and here's where I messed up. So I will say I should have went back and changed this, but I didn't. But I put 19 tickers, but obviously I didn't include Misty because I started to, and then I remember that YMAX didn't have Misty in it yet. So I didn't, but I did not remove it from my calculation. So I ended up having money unspent that I could have spent. But anyway, if put the dollar amount over here, I've just rearranged the columns. I guess I could move that over here to, let's see. Yeah, what I probably should have done. Well, I won't try to do it on the iPad right now. But had those three at the top. But I put the dollar amount here, which was $1,000, the amount I deposited in the account. And then I just did a calculation here. If there's, 19 ETFs and I'm going to put 1,000, how much would I spend on each? Now, again, because I'm doing such a small dollar amount, these percentages aren't going to be, necessarily close. You can see some of these are between 4 and 6%. Now, if we were doing, $10,000, yeah, we could have got these, or fractional shares, we could have got these percentages a lot closer. But I just started this with $1,000, just as a little project for us to do together. But anyway, so then this, column N through M, then this calculates, okay, Of course, this isn't what the calculation was when I bought these the other or weeks ago, but it would say, okay, based on, today's, it would look at, which I hid the column, today's stock price, or the stock price at the time that the data pulls, whether it was the close price or whatever. Then you would need to buy around this many, and it'll be about this dollar amount and this percentage. Again, whole shares around $52. So, and I actually said, so let's just say if we add $10,000 to this, yeah, so you see if I added a larger dollar amount, we could have got better evenly spread there. But yeah, I started with 1,000. So you can see those, and again, I didn't remove Misty from here. I didn't think about it, so it is here in this calculation, but I did not purchase it. And so what this shows, that if we did this today, I should have saved it based on the day I, originally did this. But if I was going to do this today, this says I could buy about 51 stocks and I would spend about $982 or 98% of the funds. So that's how I did that to calculate it. And then what I did here, these are the actual purchases in R, R. So this is a hard typed one. And this one will be hard typed too. And then these are going to be formulas. So in R and S, that's the actual price that I bought these for. Again, I wanted to do these, just walk through all of it step by step as I did it for anybody that actually wanted to watch. But it was getting close and I didn't want to wait too long. In fact, I did it on one of the red days. I had already bought a couple when they were red, and then it was one of the red days. I was like, well, if I want to do this before, the ETF stuff or before the distribution and stuff happens, then I just need to go and buy these. And it was a semi-red day. So then I bought them all. And of course, then the next day, it was a huge red day. So yeah, but I'd already purchased all of them at that point, so there was nothing I could do. But, that's just what I would do if I'm managing my own account. I would set it up and be like, okay, I know I need to buy these more shares of this. I'd probably wait for it to go down a little bit or to get to that price point I want. Of course, with YMAX or with Zega, they're just going to buy it, right? It's just going to automatically go into the distribution buckets and stuff when the money comes in. So, but anyway, so these are the actual amounts, and of course, based on these actual amounts paid, then this is the dollar amount I actually have in each one, and then the percentage of the portfolio. So you can see here, we are at. It ended up being most of these are 5 to 6%, so we do have one end up here. This is being based off of today's price. Let's see, okay, I see it up there. No, this is being based off of what I paid for it, not necessarily what the distribution is today. I don't have that on here yet because I was still in the middle of building this. But anyway, so then this is what I have. And then just to show you, I actually did this screenshot the other day, and I thought I was going to do a video and I didn't, so I just went ahead and did a new one. I just, again, I'd cut off the top of it that has the last four of the account number. But you can see here, as of today, it has $1,008.54. Of course, this total position overall, well, yeah, I have forgot. Since then, I have actually bought into Misty. So that's probably should come over here now. Yeah, I forgot about that. So anyway, when I did this the other day, I didn't have Misty in here yet because, again, I was trying to do it based on how the YMAX was set up. So you can see here, it was down 47.71 when I did the screenshot. It was probably that big red day. You can see every single one of these was red that day. and it has the quantity of shares and the dollar amounts and everything that's on the this tab. But then what I've done is the last distribution here. You can see that in the bottom, all 4 cents, or all four decimals are there. Just for the sake of the spreadsheet and space, I just show 2 on here, but it is all there. So based on that, then column W is what I actually got paid for the distribution. So you can scroll down here and you can see at the bottom here, project, is that I have 48 shares total with all of them. And I ended up spending $947.31. So I did have 50 something extra dollars that I could have spent because that was allocated to Misty, and then I didn't buy it again. I just ended up not doing it. So, but I didn't think about it until later. And then you see here that what I actually received of the total was $39.15. Now, if I wanted to break that down, by how much I paid a share or received a share, this would break down to 1 share of this would have been $19.74, which was 95% of the funds, and my distribution ended up being on average 82 cents. So the yield here on cost is 50% for this. Now, what I've done, obviously we don't have YMAX yet, right? The distribution for that, but what I did down here is, okay, if we spent this same amount, on the YMAX for the number of shares, and of course now this is going to be today's data, there would be 44 shares of those. You could only buy 44, right? And they would be $21.43 a share, so you'd use 94% of the portfolio, because we're just going based off of what I spent on the project at this point. And it's saying in order to get that same yield or dollar amount for the same thing, you would have to basically get 89 cents distribution, which we know we're not going to get. Of course, this will be, once we get it, I can put it in here and we can recalculate it, but it's probably going to be, 30%, somewhere around 30%. I had that on my other video. But, so yeah, that's all I've done here. And as far as rebalancing this, YMAX, if they needed to, that would be done once a month. And if you're adding money into this every month, right? So say I wanted to add another 1,000 to this month, I would just, use the calculation, make that say 2, and it'd tell me what I would need. And then I would just buy those additional shares for each one. I'm not going to actually sell out of what I already have. I'll just add on to, right? But, yeah, so this was, like I said, just a little project here that I started, and I just wanted to share it with all of you. And then, of course, I did screenshot the actual dividends. I just don't know how well you can see these with how I screenshotted them within the app there, but it just shows, all the dividend payouts, which, of course, I've already received, because we've already been paid for those. I didn't mean to close out of that. But anyway, I hope this, gives you an idea. Oh, I did have one more thing. So, and I just hit it because for some reason I did it up front. And this, is just for this specific month. But I'm curious that if we actually bought just even shares versus trying to do it just like YMAX did, which is what I've done here, so try to match that. Yeah, there's a possibility that doing the even amount of shares for all of them, you could receive about the same amount, or maybe even better. Of course, this is just based on 1 month. So next month it may not look like this depending on what the distributions come out to be. But here, this one's just showing an example of 2.7 shares. If you were buying fractional and wanted it to be, evenly bought here, that's about what it worked out to be. Well, and this is to make it comparable to the 950 something, of course. I've spent now the rest of that $50 because I bought one of Misty's to make that distribution, to have that in there. Of course, it's dropped like $4 since. But oh well, that's the world we live in, right? But anyway, 2.7 shares. And then, of course, this was if we bought it at today's dollar amount. Then that's about how much you would be spending. And now this is where you would see, okay, it's somewhat similar right now, only because we're using a low dollar amount. But you see, it is still a wider range from 3 to 7% based on the price of some of these. And then, of course, this would have been a dividend paid. But I actually, last month, when I did the Yield Max and YMAX and YMAG estimate, I had created, after that last distribution, I started creating different examples of how you could do it many different ways, and then I actually never finished it. So this was just a way for me to actually do it with you. It actually made me buy some shares because I spend so much time doing videos, watching videos, doing spreadsheets, that I don't spend a lot of time investing myself anymore. Or if I have time, by the time I do, I don't want to. I don't want to look at stocks anymore. So anyway, I'm going to see how this looks again next month. And I'll also probably at some point do those just test things. But I figured, people want to see, what really happened. What did you really do? Not some hypothetical if you'd have done it on this date. And then, see actual real results. But anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed this. Hopefully this would give you an idea. Again, if you're looking at, $1,000, it may not be much of a difference. But if you're, looking at, spending a bunch of money, even if it's $10,000, well, these would have to be updated because this is based on what I actually bought. But the dollar amounts could be significant. So, I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. I appreciate y'all's time. Sorry to babble on so much. I just know this is something I had been working on, and I just still never truly got around to getting it to exactly what I wanted. But I thought I would go ahead and at least do an initial video on this. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think I should go ahead and add another $1,000 to this project portfolio and, continue to watch it, or, do a different project, or I don't know. Just let me know what you think. Anyway, appreciate it. Talk to y'all later. Bye.